Hello everyone, I'm Marinette Dalbard, Client Service Director at Kidz Global, and working with Philippe Guinaudeau on our daily client servicing, but also on this exciting kids consumer research we'll present you today.
Hello, I'm Philippe Guinaudeau. I'm the CEO of Kidz Global, and I work with Marinette on exciting projects, including this American kid consumer. So today we are going to review the findings of this research. The world of kids is far more complex and diverse now, and with many more activities, many more solicitations from everywhere, coming from all the places. And so if we're doing a correct job today, we should talk about the kids' way of life, their daily and weekly activities, including playing, but including their connection with digital technologies, televisions, and all the times that they spend in front of screens. We also should cover some elements about the Christmas shopping and the gifting, as well as pocket money. And ultimately, the objective is to give you the key drivers in order for you to build winning strategies in this very moving world. But before we start with the actual results, let me tell you how we collected this information. We collected this information from an online quantitative survey. So that means that selected panelists received an email with a link, they clicked on it and answered the questions. So auto-filled questionnaire. Obviously, for the very young kids, that would be the parents or the legal guardians answering on behalf of the kids. And today we've got a sample of 1,326 respondents, splitted as between the kids, as you can see on the right side of the screen. It's a nationwide representation of the US.
2 years now that the pandemic started to drastically impact our daily lives through multiple events, constraints, hopes, and disappointments. We've seen big changes on consumption of goods and contents along the past year, but where do we stand now? Parents, most of them at least, spoil their kids at Christmas. 60% of parents spend more money on holiday presents this year, and 1/3 spend even much more, at least $100 more. And only 9% of the parents claim having spent less on Christmas present in 2021. American parents spend an average of $462 for holiday presents, which is even more than past year. Toys and game is traditionally the main category offered at Christmas. This year, mainly because parents were looking for solutions to compensate the impact of COVID of their kids' life, they've spent more on holiday presents. This directly impacts the different categories of products, the toys and games even more than the other one. Indeed, toys and games is a referral for parents as part of their children's development. They offer both an opportunity for kids to be challenged and engaged.
So what's the impact of kids as shoppers? How do they influence their parents? How do they convey their wishes to their parents? And how, especially on entertainment products and specifically on toys? And how do this work at Christmas time? All of these questions would be on the shopping section.
As part of the purchase drivers, licensing is a key one. It drives one impulsive purchase out of 2 to 3 across categories. Among others, it combines both the fun and the children wishes, which are the main reason why choosing a product more than another for parents. This is even more true for toys and games. Kids definitely prefer games and video games related to their preferred character or shows. And clothing, but can be verified across the different categories.
Now, specifically on Christmas presents, for this Christmas season, so the Christmas 2021, 39% of the received presents by the kids up to 14 years old were toys and games. And obviously, as kids get older, they receive less toys and games and more digital products and video games. The fact is that actually 39%, it's a big drop compared to a few years ago. So in terms of number of presents, the number of toys and games have decreased in the shoes under the tree at Christmas presents. 2 years ago, I mean, these 39% were 49% actually. And it's switched not only to the digital categories, especially between 3 and 9 years old, which have increased in the basket of the kids, but also in entertainment and leisure. So everything that has to go with outside entertainment and cards and so on, but also the candies and chocolates. Little bit less on fashion, outdoor and sport products. And the parents count a little bit less. They count now for 59%. They were 62% a couple of years ago of the presents received by kids. So that means that in fact the parents and a little bit of the grandparents as well do not contribute as much for the presents compared to the brothers and sisters and the close family. And another very interesting fact, which probably is extremely characteristic of this particular year, about 49% of the purchases have been made without any promotion, without any push of a promotion. That was 46% a couple of years ago. And in fact, it's probably linked to the fact that we announced far in advance that there would be a shortage of hot products, hot toys. And so as a result, basically the parents tend to purchase directly without any promotion, didn't search special. And in fact, the special products or the products on special decreased the proportion. It was 32% a couple of years ago, and it's now only 27%. So as you can see, I mean, it's been to the benefit, even if the percentage of toys has decreased in the basket, the value of the toys has improved among the kids. And while a few years ago, couple of years ago, 34% of the presents were on impulse or opportunity. So basically, I mean, not requested by the recipient and recipient not present at the time of the purchase. Now it's only 31%. But the most interesting fact is in the green area that you can see there, which is the proportion of presents, especially on the toys, but presents that have been requested by the recipient, and the recipient was present at the time of the purchase. A few years ago, a couple of years ago, we were talking about 28%. Now it's 43%, a big push. So parents were not shy to have the kids at the time of the purchase with them in order to select exactly the right hot toys that they would want. Now, do they have favorite entertainment brands? Of course. What are the most popular entertainment brands? What are the brands that are the most loved, but the largest proportion of the population, by the largest proportion of the population, which is the definition basically of popularity. So using BrandTrends, we track these brands, and that's the reason why we are going to present you on that very complex slide. We're going to present you the most favorite entertainment brands. So on that bubble matrix, at the bottom, you've got the young kids. At the top, you've got the older kids. At the right, you've got the boys. At the left, you've got the girls. And normally, if your brand is appreciated by an equal proportion of young and old and boys and girls, the bubble would be right at the center with 25% for the girls 7 to 14, 25% of the boys 7 to 14, and so on. So as you can see, it shows the competitive landscape for each of these brands. On the left side, you've got Frozen and Barbie, typically girlish brands. On the left side, you've got Ben 10. At the top, you've got a little bit of Roblox, which is surprising to find that brand as an entertainment brand, because it's more platform rather than an entertainment brand per se. You can see with a blue circle, blue highlight, the superhero brands, Marvel, Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, traditionally always on that quadrant of the screen. The most interesting thing is that you've got Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, YouTube, Apple, Cartoon Network. You've got distribution, video content distribution platforms that are now among the favorite entertainment brands. That shows basically the amount of time that they have spent in front of the screens. And you've got the classical like Tom and Jerry, SpongeBob that are appreciated by both young and old and boys and girls. You've got the Disney, which basically like Lego are brands that can't be attributed to specifically to Disney Princess or Lego Jago, and because the kids just answer Lego or Disney.
So let's focus on superheroes. We've seen that it historically are more on the boys, older boys quadrants, but we'll see that's a bit more complex than that. Superheroes, they were superstar already, but the pandemic even strengthened their appeal. They offer the opportunity for families to share good moments. They drive great values of courage and resilience, and there is always a great positive ending, which are all waiting for now. And this is why, convinced by their superpowers of appeal, we are developing a dedicated report on how to leverage such a winning positioning. If you want to know more, just send a sign. But yeah, let's first see some key results. As part of this report dedicated to superheroes, the ranking of most favorites one, which includes big winner, able to attract across the different age break and gender and across countries, but also smaller players. The big winner, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. You see there's a favorite one among both boys and girls, and this is confirmed across the different age break and countries. And this is interesting to better understand those groups, and especially the smaller player, and how the heroes image may support winning strategy for brands, which heroes fit with which brand. Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman are historically the most favorite one, far above other one, but lower scores most often means that some of those great heroes, such as Supergirl or Aquaman, develop a strong affinity with smaller but highly committed targets. And now let's see which trends did the pandemic created on kids' daily routines. American kids have historically a large part of their awake time dedicated to free activities. No big change here. The main changes come from how do they use this free time and what do they do. Digital entertainment, let's say screen time basically, is again their main activity, setting the same level of time along week and weekends. However, the usage among this activity has changed. From watching TV, they are moving their attention to other screens, especially nomad ones such as tablets, but even more mobile phone. Mobile is playing a bigger and bigger role along the years. And this should even increase in the near future, considering that youngest use more and more mobile to the detriment to TV, obviously, but also computer and even tablets.
Television and screens. Mainly screens, I have to say. The objective here is really to really understand how they use the screens and what they want to do with the screens. So if we look at the screens they have or they access or they own and the screens they want to have in the future, I mean, the most important facts that we have to note is they are now focusing around two main types of screens. First, mobile phones and smartphones. That's what they own the most, but also that's what they want the most. Definitely, I mean, that's exactly where it's going. So they want to have their small individual screen that can do a lot of things. But the second interesting fact that is pushing a lot, especially compared to the past years, last year and the year before, are the smart TVs that are pushing a lot. Obviously, I mean, the offering is much more compelling, much wider. But at the same time, through the smart TV, they can access obviously their platforms like Netflix, Disney Plus, and so, Hulu, Amazon, and so on. But also at the same time, they can access YouTube. And that's the reason why smart TV is also one of those electronic devices that kids and their parents are more likely to wish to acquire in the coming years.
And TV channel access at home and on-demand services used. Here is an additional explanation of Nomad Screen's success, which confirms the watcher's empowerment. On-demand services are growing overall, the biggest one even more than the other one, so Netflix and YouTube, namely. Disney Plus is a bigger and bigger player. They all develop a strong offer around the globe, which multiplies also opportunities to select relevant and differentiating content for consumers. Netflix is the most accessed one, Disney Plus the one growing the most. YouTube and Amazon Prime Video complete the top 4. Their usage is consistent across age breaks, which confirms their ability to convince the whole family. And the ability to select the contents also strengthens the relationship with the shows and characters, and with it, the appeal of licensing products. And this creates a virtual circle, continuously driving a stronger commitment of consumers towards the shows. An additional sign of the watcher's empowerment is their way to watch TV. If there is no big change versus last year, the gap on the always to most of the time share of watching is strong versus 2019. This confirms a strong trend is being settled here. And the main strength of on-demand and replay services is not really about the opportunity to postpone the watching, more than 2 out of 5 watch the content in the next few days, but really to access the content they want, where they want, and how they want. Think again about mobile users. And this is again confirmed across age breaks. And based on this empowerment and ability to choose the content they watch, kids massively consider that content improved. 46% of them believe that television programs have improved in the past 12 months. Again, this is a huge gap compared to 2019. And this is mainly due to the fact they can watch the programs they like and more variety, driven by higher usage of streaming services. Again, this is consistent across age break as a service usage. So screen, video contents, this is all about digital entertainment. So let's now deep dive into kids and digital behaviors. And first, the equipment most enjoyed by the children. As we've seen previously, Nomad Screen, so means tablets and even more mobile phone are the growing ones. This is to the detriment of computer and normal TV. 10 to 14 years old are those enjoying smartphones the most, but this screen is continuously growing among youngest since 2 years. With smartphones, they can access their preferred content everywhere, whenever they want, but not only. This is also for them the opportunity to access multiple entertaining contents with more and more apps used. Playing games is their preferred online activity across age breaks, and this can be continuously renewed thanks to multiple apps. If games is the opportunity to drive fun, they're also massively watchers of video contents. YouTube is the main provider of video content, pushing various content and offering the possibility to discover new shows, characters, and activity all year long. This appeal for video content also supports the growth of Snapchat and TikTok among oldest and settles a new way of consuming shows and movies. On top, and as licensing, social media helps strengthening the affinity with brands, supporting by sharing and commenting with others.
Playing habits. Now it's all about playing with toys, specifically with toys. So conscious of the time that we have in this webinar, it has to be a compact overview, basically, of the American kid consumer. Marinette and I will be brief today. but we will highlight the key facts that are important in the stream of that presentation. And of course, you can have more of these elements and more facts and more details in the facts that you can find in the reports. And those reports, you can find them on the Toy Association website in the members area. So in fact, first we have to note the very important fact that the proportions of the kids and games that the kids play with is different from the toys and games that the parents purchase. It's not because a category would be extremely strong in sales that it's the #1 category in terms of playtime. Some of the categories will attract more playtime, even if the volume of purchases is a little bit lower compared to the market value. And that's the case of the games and puzzles. Games and puzzles, I mean, it's the #1 category in terms of usage, in terms of preference. It has a lot of things to do. Obviously, it's a group type of activity, parents, but also brothers and sisters, friends, and so on. And so because of that, the board games on one side, the puzzles on the other side is the #1 category. And you can see that as kids get older, they tend to love even more this type of activity. And you've got a switch between the games and puzzles, the games portion and the puzzle portion. As the kids are young, you've got more puzzles compared to the games, while when the kids are older, like the age 10 to 14, you've got much more board games, a little bit less than puzzle. But the bottom line is they love board games and all the puzzles. That's the #1 category. And then after, you've got the categories of the dolls, 14% among the girls or the kids 3 to 6, and the 7 to 9 would be 13%. There's a very big drop, a dramatic drop to 5% among the 10 to 14, while at the same time, the action figures don't necessarily register this type of statistics. I mean, you've got 8% for the 3 to 6, 7% for the 7 to 9, but a very strong 6% compared to the 8% in the 3-6 among the kids 10 to 14. The kids, and the younger kids especially, play with a lot with their brothers and sisters, while the other kids tend to play a little bit more alone or with their friends. And on specific toys, especially the games, the board games, they tend to play with the parents as well. So most of the time, playing alone is an option, but it's not the favored option. It's really about socializing, spending time with their siblings, spending time with their family, and spending time with their friends. And the fact that they play all together, I mean, all also about creating imaginary worlds, creating stories. And so it's really about building worlds and universes. And that's also something that they can do on video games as well as some in other categories. And about 6 in 10 kids 3 to 9 years old like toys that are related to their favorite either video games or TV show characters, which basically refers to licensing. And among the kids 10 to 14 years old, it's just over half that feel exactly the same way. So with all that time spent in front of the screens and all that time playing with toys and a little bit with video games, do kids read or are read to, depending on the age? Yes, a lot. And actually, I mean, it's one of the key fundamentals of the development of the toy market is to make sure that the kids can spend some time reading or be read to, especially the young kids, in order so they can create and develop their imaginary worlds. So not only they read, sorry, but they love it. And let's be honest, I mean, toys and games need reading to help creating imaginary worlds and projecting kids into stories and building stories, learning how to create stories. So reading is a daily routine for the kids across all the age groups, but the frequency of reading is decreasing as the kids get older. Mainly also because the parents are less involved because they give a little bit more autonomy to the kids. The physical books are used most when reading to the very young kids, 3 to 6 years old, especially because that's an easy way to go pick up your book and come back. While starting at the age of 10, tablets and smartphones are used many more times than the physical books. And among the kids 10 years old and older, the e-readers become more commonly used. And when they're reading on their own, the kids primarily rely on books, their own, or from the library. And as they get older, obviously they use more screens like smartphones and tablets as a source of reading. So, what's about pocket money? More than 3 out of 4 American kids receive pocket money, more likely on occasional basis. On average, they receive $35 per month, and this amount is consistent across age breaks. Marinette?
Yeah, and kids are highly responsible with their pocket money, preferring saving for buying something they have in mind, and this is across age breaks. Parents often give pocket money to their kids for helping the house and when they get good grades in school. This is how worth to be spending as soon as it is recompensated. And this means great opportunities for brands. We've seen that children are directly connected with a lot of them through their screen, and they love products with their preferred character and shows on it. Then let's push content through YouTube and social media for driving purchase intent. So we've shared with you the main finding of this research, but as Philippe mentioned previously, the full content of the report is available in the member area, and we'll also be happy to answer any additional question or if you have any comment to share. So please feel free to send us an email. You'll find our contact details at the end of this presentation. But it's time now for summarizing what we've talked about today. Yeah, we'll be happy to share our ideas with you. So the first key learning is, to surf on online attractiveness. Kids are more and more connected through more and more nomad support. Online is definitely part of their daily lives with influencer and gamer friends. So that's really about screen. This was the case already. This is confirmed year after year. And winning strategy must include video contents. The second opportunity is about leveraging the appeal of superheroes. They reach both boys and girls across age breaks. They are part of their preferred talks and drive strong values which can be shared across the family. So superheroes, but also any content which drive sharing and positive value, basically, such as sport or heritage, are winning opportunities for generating commitments towards brands. And the first key opportunity is on licensing as a key driver of purchase. Around 2 purchases out of 5 are impulsive, whatever is the category. This is a great opportunity for children to spend their pocket money and for parents to make their child happy. And what a great opportunity to drive salience and proximity with brands, leveraging multiple exposure through licensing products, and then leading to a virtuous cycle. So thank you again for your time today. Let's pursue the discussion at your convenience.
Thank you very much. Have a good continuation.